Hey, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. You are here at Bougie AF. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, check me out on Twitter at Bougie AF _ish. Bougie as fuck ish. But don't forget the underscore. And then I'm also on Twitter. Check me out. I had to build a new page. Long story behind that. One day we'll get into it. And that is Y2 for like YouTube. So there's Y2 _ Bougie AF. All right, so I decided to do a reaction video because I couldn't let 2020 get out of here without really commentating on, giving y'all my reaction on y'all favorite pastor or minister. And like I said, whatever y'all call him for yourselves, Jamal Bryant. All right, so if you don't know the backstory, Jamal Bryant is the ex-husband of Giselle Bryant, who's on Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, y'all know I stand for Atlanta. So I don't think I really watch any of the other franchises all like that, but I'm going to get into Potomac next season because this shit seems to be really good. So Jamal Bryant was married to Giselle Bryant, who's on the show. I guess they were married 12 years ago. So it's been a really long time since they've been married, but I guess in their relationship, there's a whole bunch of cheating, a whole bunch of children being born. Allegedly, this is all allegedly, there's some alleged STDs being talked about. He was ran out of Baltimore. I did see a video where the niggas in the hood was just like, get out of here, okay? We don't want you here. We don't want what you peddling, right? So I most definitely seen that video. So let's just say then he got kicked out of the church in Baltimore. So he then went to a church in Atlanta where it's called New Birth Church, right? So he's now the minister there. And let's just say he still didn't clean up his act. Let's say he probably wasn't even required to. That's the crazy part. As you can see, society let him move on to a new position, still moonlighting as a pastor. So he went to New Birth, and he's there, and he's still doing his same thing. Now, he's not married any longer. Him and Giselle are not married. But the thing is that he decided to take his ass on the Real Housewives of Potomac and pretend, it sounds like, to be getting back with his ex-wife Giselle, who he has not been with, I think, for the last 12 years, right? So we see him and her trying to seem like they're dating and stuff like that. But, we know people do strange things with coins, optics, and trying to, create storylines. So he appeared. Now, with him appearing on the show, that made him content, right? And I also made him a target. So with Giselle having problems with a castmate, what happened was that Jamal Bryant's past and all his indiscretions and all the rumors and everything that we hear about him was on the table to be used, right? Because you presented this man as the man that you're getting back with, right? All right, so I decided, I was like, well, let me pour some wine. This guy made wine. And let's get into Jamal Bryant and see, get into his reaction, because what he's on our camera because he's talking about the fact that I think, what's her name? Monique Samuels brought up all these past indiscretions on their Real Housewives reunion. And so he decided that he wanted to respond to her. And let me tell you, that damn Monique, she had a binder of text messages. She had all this shit. Like, she went the hell in. Now, this is a little funny because, again, he is still a minister of a church. And that's why it makes it so funny. So I wanted to, give y'all my reaction to the minister of the church talking.
Anything in that franchise ever again, but I wanted you to know why. I took a couple of days.
We gotta go back. We gotta get it all of it. It's all good. It's all good. This shit was so good to me. I thought SNL should have did a skit on it. They should have did a damn skit of a philandering pastor sitting down, telling the congregation, we need to pull up on somebody. Yes, they should have. Because all right, so let's get back into it.
On the Housewives of Potomac, or anything in that franchise ever again, but I wanted you to know why. I took a couple of days to be sober of thought and clear of mind. So I would not, in fact, operate in emotionalism, but in sound judgment. So I want to tell you why you will never see me on the Housewives of Potomac again.
Let me tell y'all something about manipulation and a slick old greasy ass Negro, right? You'll be caught off guard by a man who seems like he's mild-mannered, right? Composed, eloquent, right? Like he said, he's not going to be emotional, right? He's going to lay out all the facts. You know what I'm saying? So people are so cut off by what he does because of what he presents, right? And you got to always be able to really just always look at what someone does, right? You can't be fooled by what they say because it's what they do that makes the biggest difference, right? So as I'm sitting here and I can just imagine that, art of persuasion, the art of like women who follow men just blindly, being really taken by him, right? Being really enamored by his personality and all that power he has, but just truly ignoring everything else, right? Sometimes I feel like sometimes these type of men have a way of making it seem like it's everybody else is crazy, it's not me. You know what I'm saying? That these are these type of men because that's all you see. You see the composed, you see the togetherness, you see all of that. So you really can't imagine anything outside of what they're saying because you're just like, oh my God, this person is just so easy to talk to. Why would anyone want to hurt him? Or why would anyone want to, why would anybody do this to him? Like you tend to try to treat these type of people as though they are babies and they just need someone to understand them. And more or less that there are sometimes the biggest narcissists that you can ever come across, right? Because they know how to use all of what they present. But let's go hear why he will never be on the Real Housewives again. Come on, Pastor. Talk to him, Pastor.
Misrepresentation of my character,
yes,
my ministry, and my humanhood.
Misrepresentation. Because not his actions. His actions didn't misrepresent him. It is the show. It is the show talking about his actions that has misrepresented him. Yes, Pastor. Come on, talk to him, Pastor.
There are a couple of things that have happened this season that require immediate redress. Many of you who are watching bombarded me with accusations of abandoning my family, not being there for my girls, for their photo shoot, as if I was just in Atlanta, frolicking around and participating in willful neglect. The truth of the matter is, I was in South Africa. Coming back for the photo shoot.
And it's so weird. I mean, I don't watch the show, but I do. I remember seeing like a scene with I remember seeing a scene with the daughters with Giselle. And I was so taken aback by one of the older daughters because what a lot of people don't fail to recognize or don't want to acknowledge is that your kids are on the internet at a very early age. So they have access to everything that you have done. And even if a mother doesn't share with their child all the discretions and all the things that their father may have done, they can go look that up, right? So if I can easily see a video of people running you out of your own city, or there's just so much stuff online, these kids see it too, right? So you have this impression that he's talking about being like, I think he even calls his daughter's daughter like daddy girls. That was just not the vibe I got from watching his daughters talk to their mother. And it just seems like she wanted to force like there's been some type of real relationship between him and his daughters. And I remember one daughter, and I don't remember her name, but I remember she looked at her mother like, are you crazy? Like, are you like, the look she gave her mother was like, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be in a relationship with him because clearly she knew like all the things that he had did to her mother. So it's just awful. And this girl doesn't have to force and act like she's been a daddy girl for anybody. Like this is her real life, right? So she's not going to get on TV and try to make the world think she feels a certain way about someone who just probably has been in and out. For the last 8 years, he has been in Atlanta. Giselle's never moved from never moved from Baltimore. These are the most critical times in your child's life, right? So one thing I did read one time is that, and even if you sit back yourself and think about all the men that you know that maybe baby daddies, never got married, maybe co-parented, but was never in the house, there's so much of that where the Black man is not in the house to help raise their kids. I'm talking about their actual fathers. Now, someone might find a boyfriend that steps up to the plate. They may even find a husband that's going to be a great stepfather. But I'm talking about the fact of the actual man who impregnated the woman being in the house together and raising their child. And that is so far in between, and so sometimes not there a lot of the time. So, yes, some men still be involved, but I'm talking about the in the house where you can really make a difference, where your presence and where you showing your children how you treat your mother and how you showing them what a family looks like. That's kind of sometimes non-existent, right? So I'm sitting back and thinking about the people who I know who have kids and they're married. I don't know too many people who have their original baby daddy in the house. They may have their second baby daddy still in the house, but that means that the first one is still not being raised by their actual father, right? So that's a stepfather. So, there's something to be said about that. So, you still have to be present. You know what I mean? So, And you know what Black man that does a really good job of, even if he's not in the house, he's still very present with his girls and very present with his kids, is Chad Ochocinco. Very present. And I like to see that because then it's not forced. You know what I mean? Then it's not like somebody who's just trying to pretend as if though they're being daddy of the year because they may cut that check. Another person who tries to be present, even though I know there's a lot of drama. Bootsy also tries to be very present in his kids' lives. That's not to say he's always done it the right way, or you know what I mean, but he tries. There's a lot of other men. I don't want to forget anybody on purpose, but y'all know how this goes. Sometimes you try to remember things and you can't. I'm sorry, y'all gotta turn this fan back on. I'm really hot, so if you hear that in the background, that's all that is. All right, so, there's quite a men who will try their best to be as present as much as possible and be involved in their kids' lives. So,
And had a delay in Frankfurt, Germany for 6 hours.
So do you think we're gonna go verify that?
As a consequence, my flight did not land in enough time. And none of that was mentioned. None of it was brokered. None of it was represented. Secondly,
oh my God, they after you, Black man. They're trying to bring you down, brother.
Many of you misguidedly thought that it was in real time.
Misguided?
It was, in fact, recorded a year ago in 2019. And so you saw my children who were not happy with me, but you didn't have context. Their first day of school, and this is the very first time in their entire lives that the first day of school I was not present to pick them up or to take them.
Okay.
Any of you who have teenagers understand the emotional roller coaster of teenage girls. As a consequence, I had just moved to Atlanta.
The emotional roller coaster of teenage girls. Now, one thing you're going to always hear, that he's going to always give you backstory onto why someone is reacting to things that he does, right? So for him, his daughters and how they reacted to him in general, and their mother in general getting back together, is that they're just hyper emotional, overly sensitive teenagers, right? So that's what you're seeing there. As if though his kids are unreasonable, as if, he had a delay in the flight and something that he can't control, as if though his kids are so unreasonable they wouldn't have understood that, right? That's just not what we're seeing here. We're not seeing that here. Like if your kids felt like you were the man for their mother, right? Through your changed behavior, through your interactions with them, and you will pick them up and you will like, hey, how's mom doing? Man, I sure enough will, I'm trying to get my stuff together, get back with moms. Like they would know all of that if you were really kicking it with them about your feelings and your intentions with their mother. They'd be the first ones to know, to be honest with you. They'd be the first one to know. They'd be like, "My dad's always asking about you. Mom, I see Dad be liking your pictures." Like, there'd be some type of something to be like, "Mom, you ever think about Dad, you know, and you getting back together?" Like, it'd be some of that, because ultimately a kid is going to want the best for their mother. And if their father is the best and he seems like he wants to be there, they would want that, right? But they're just emotional, unreasonable kids. And so they don't understand that, you know, he lives in Atlanta and that he's, you know, traveling and he got delayed one time. Like, you know, like disappointment in someone and not believing in someone, and they don't seem like they believed in him as the right person for their mother. That's just not a one-off. You just don't do one thing and you just stop believing in somebody. That's irrational. That's unfair. That's not. Nobody's perfect. That person seems to be unreasonable, right? If they're just doing that off of one thing.
So it was adjustment for them, and it was for me. They are absolutely daddy's girls.
Okay, Pastor.
As a matter of fact, they are here in Atlanta often and frequent, and more than their school, they wear New Birth t-shirts and hoodies.
First of all, your kids is probably in Atlanta because it's probably funner and they probably enjoy coming down to Atlanta. You're a pastor of a church. There comes one, you access to money, and then two, access to the what your name brings to them. And that's just there's no getting around that. I mean, you've watched Screenland, you've watched the responses to people have to these pastors in these mega churches and how they're sort of sometimes like rock stars. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of perks that come with being your daughters in that community. So, you know, saying that they like to come to Atlanta, I'm pretty sure they do. And there's boys down there that aren't from their city. And as a child or in high school, being able to have that humble brag, "Oh, I got a dude in Atlanta, I could see it." So that ain't saying nothing to me, but okay.
Almost every day, faithfully, even while in Maryland, they watch their father on Sunday morning in worship. I have a very healthy relationship with my
girls. I'm not gonna talk against your daddy because it's your daddy, but I always say, watch who you let pray over you. And it just so happened that you may need to watch your daddy praying over you. Woo! How much of that? Like, woo! Like, listen, Pastor, how about we just quietly bow our heads and just pray to ourselves? Is what I would be doing with this one.
My children, which I value and which I absolutely don't take for granted. The third thing that was put out there pejoratively was disparaging remarks made by my father-in-law.
Hold up. I gotta go look up this word because you got this slick ass chameleon talking about pejoratively, and I need to know what the hell that means before we just let him go. Like, oh, that's my BLM video I'm gonna get to soon, because you know you have Miss Tamika Mallory talking about Black Lives Matter and defunding the police. But wait, where did my screen go? Okay, there we go. All right, so what was the word again? Oh, slick ass. Oh, okay. So you got high aptitude. You probably test really good on the SAT. So let me get that word again.
My children, which I value and which I absolutely don't take for granted. The third thing that was put out there pejoratively.
We got to find out what that word is. Siri, what does pejoratively means? We don't find this word. Siri, what does pejoratively means? I'm still not getting nothing. I don't even know how to spell that. We gonna figure this out because this is how he throw people off. These slick ones, right? Can you just imagine? Could you just imagine Pastor just breaking out pejoratively at me and you just like, oh man, he just so sexy. Look at the way he used them words. I can see it. I actually want to go to his church, to be honest with you. I want to go to his church and I want to sit on See, good seats are always, they're key, right? Like, it's like being out. Good seats and the view that you get is always key. So I'm thinking, if you want to really catch something, you got to always sit to the left, right? Wherever gives you a more fuller view of the room, I promise you, I'm going to go there with my caramel crunch and my big bag, and I'm just going to sit there and watch to see. Because body language is a mother. Like, it will tell you a lot about what's going on in the room, right? You're going to see something. Hey, Pastor. Who got their favorite seats, who's always first there, who don't miss a Sunday. All those things be telling you something. Always trying to be helpful to the first family. Woo. Gotta watch them. I would have fun. I'm not going to lie to you. I would have fun going to his church. I'd figure it out. It'd be like Clue. It'd be like mystery. I would find his thoughtettes that were attending the church. I promise you it would. It always, it reveals itself. But, pejoratively, we looking that up. Since Siri don't know what I'm saying because I ain't never heard pejoratively. Man, I'm thinking Perjuva. T-L-Y. No. Pejoratively. I ain't getting nothing here, y'all. Looking like, are they pulling up Indian words? Let me try it again. Pejoratively. Okay, Pastor, you got this one. This is how you getting them. You dropping big words on them. They're falling in love with the vernacular. That's what it is. They're just so impressed about how you put it all together. And now I can't even find the words. And Siri don't even know because we don't know what that word is. It's just like,
Was disparaging remarks made by my father-in-law, Mr. Curtis Graves, who is 83 years of age. He's 83 years of age, and unlike many, I was raised old school, that you never disrespect elders. I honor him. He's an amazing man, has had incredible accomplishments.
It's a setup for me, y'all.
He has every right to feel.
It's a setup for me because what he did there, he discredited the man by stating his age, right? And trying to make it seem as if though, this is an old man. He probably just saying whatever. Even kind of trying to say maybe he could be speaking out of his mind. All his fallacies are not there. Like trying to imply something about that. But then on the flip end, I don't want to address him because I don't want to disrespect my elder, right? So then there's that mind thing. Oh my God, you're still doing the right thing, Jamal, by not addressing this 83-year-old man. Oh my God, Jamal, you just taking it everything. You just like David and Goliath up in this month. Like you just really. Oh my God, Jamal, you're just such a good man. God is gonna bless you, Jamal. That's what it just sounds like. Like everything is everybody else. We're gonna keep going. So you don't want to address what he has to say. Because it's not like you can address what he has to say without disrespecting him. And that's the thing about people. Like, it doesn't even have to be about the person. You can just address what he's saying.
Protective over his daughter. I've been divorced for now 10 years.
Okay, corrected.
And he and I have not had a heart-to-heart, man-to-man conversation about me breaking the heart of his baby girl. Anybody who is married or been married understands that working with in-laws.
So you see how he just simply said that this is about the fact that, he left his ex-wife and he broke her heart. And her father has not come to terms with that, right? I mean, they'll say it that way. Oh, daddy's girl, he's such a protective father. I mean, that's what you're supposed to say. Like, he's not going to argue with someone who's protecting their daughter. Whereas, right, what heart-to-heart do you think that you would have for this man to probably have gotten caught cheating several times before she left you? Like, save your heart-to-heart with Pops, because Pops is just going to be like, man, not only were you cheating, but allegedly you weren't even being safe with my daughter. I don't need your heart-to-heart, because all you're going to do is sit in front of me and just tell me, sometimes as a man, you get caught up out there and you lose your way. You don't find your way back at home. You get what I'm saying? So that's all that he wanted to do. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's all. Like, if I was the Pops, I don't need to have a conversation with you. And that's just that. Like, nah, we've had a conversation before in the past, probably. And we can, I would be willing to bet on that.
Is a process, and it is a journey. So that was, in fact, one of the very few times in 10 years that we have been in proximity. But I want on record that I honor him. He's made tremendous strides in history. He is my fraternity brother, and I want my children to always know that I honor their grandfather and Giselle's father. I then want to move. Let me make sure I'm on the right page of my binder, because you can't bring me receipts if I got the cash register. So let me press the cash register. Yes, I dated a young lady in New York. In case you all missed it, I've been divorced for 11 years. And single people date. When you date, sometimes it works, and sometimes it didn't. In this instance, it did. Nothing.
Yes, single people, normal people who haven't taken the covenant to be ministers and pastors, they do date, right? And they spread it out. They date. They date Keisha, Tanya. You know what I mean? They got a whole list of people that date. You know, that's just normal. You know what I mean? That's just what dating is. But I think you fail to realize, and what the overall big problem is that you're just not like me. You're not a regular schmegular person. So your dating should not look like you are Ray J looking for love. It should not look like you're, Flava Flav. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't look the same. You know what I mean? And I just feel like maybe you may be missing that, right? So there shouldn't be all these type of, stories coming out about your behavior and how you're dating and stuff like that. You should be really kind of dating a certain type of woman, though, too, that, we would hear these leaked stories about. And you should be dating to get married because that is what it says in that book that you're supposed to be preaching from. All right, here we go.
Immoral, illegal, or unethical took place. It did not work out. There is some clarity that needs to happen. I'm not married. I'm not engaged. Some of you have a strange relationship with language. You can't have a mistress while you're single. So I never had a mistress. As a consequence, she has never been to visit me in Atlanta, never been to Newburgh, never been in my home. I've never been in her home. Now, you would think that things just move forward and people move on. They don't. So
you're a minister of a church, and the woman that you're dating has never been to your church, to see your work. You don't know what type of, you're not fellowshipping with her. It's just very casual, seems like, to you. Y'all go to this church?
If we're going to show text messages, let's show all the text messages. Let's show the text messages of the young lady asking to fly to Atlanta for my installation. Show the text message where I said, no, it's not a good idea. You're going to show the text message, show all the text messages where you asked to come down for Memorial Day.
Because you already probably had something else scheduled to come through. Like, come on, player. We know how this is. We know how that goes. Everybody gets a date and a time. Like, come on, let's keep it real. Like, that's not what you're doing right now. So you told old girl she couldn't come this weekend. And so what's that mean? What that mean? You got something else in Atlanta.
And I said, no, you can't come here. If you're going to show the text messages, show the text messages where you complained because I didn't open a door for you to speak on the Word Network. You're going to show the text message, show all of them, how it is that you wanted me to hire you to be on staff. I told you you weren't qualified. And so January, I brought in new staff members. three of them. My assistant pastor, College Lemons, my internet pastor, Hervance Ross, and my emerging generations pastor, Carriana Turner. So if you're going to show the text message from January 5th, where you sent me in text, oh, I see you hired a young lady. You must be sleeping with her. To which I responded, no, I didn't even know her before I hired her.
What we won't do is act like, someone making an assumption because you have dog-ass behavior is so off basis for making these type of assumptions. Like, that's not what we're going to do. I'm not going to do that. But continue, Mr. Pastor, whatever y'all call him. I call him Pimp Daddy Pastor, but I mean, Mac Daddy Pastor. For the streets pastor, in the streets pastor.
56 people applied for the job, and she emerged because she is competent and because she is capable. And so for you to insinuate it is fraudulent. You don't read the text messages. Read the text messages where you asked me to review your dissertation on Black women's empowerment. And I told you it needed a revision because it doesn't have depth. It doesn't have enough nuance, and there is no creativity. You don't read the text. Read the text. How it is that you sent this, quote, receipts to 27 periodicals and blogs, hoping to sell a story. And of the 27 you sent it to, 25 dismissed it because they knew it had no merit, it had no weight. And so because doors were not open, because you're chasing clout and an opportunity to get on a stage, that gift and integrity.
Maybe they didn't go for it because of the things that you actually named, which is cool. Maybe it didn't have any depth. Maybe it didn't have any nuances, and nuances meaning anything new that it was bringing to the table in terms of the conversation. Maybe that's the reason. But necessarily not because that, she was chasing after something. Maybe it just needed some more work. And that can be true.
Necessity. You then sent it to the executive producers of Bravo. Sent it to the executive producers of Bravo. They didn't respond. So you sent it to every person in the cast. Your dissertation is on the empowerment of Black women. So the question is, if you're empowering Black women, why'd you send it to the entire cast and never send it to Giselle? You want to equip her and not break her or crucify her. And you thought something was awry. Then the responsible thing to do.
I know he thinks he really said something. But if I got beef with somebody, right? And I'm not saying I'm not justifying it. I'm not saying that I agree with any of this stuff. But what I just logically look at something. I'm beefing. We going back and forth, and it's a situation. You sitting here talking about you didn't send it to Giselle. It's like, what? Now, tell me again. Why do I need to do that? I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me.
Is to go to that woman, but you didn't do that. It's okay. What you didn't say in passing out this information is that you and your sister are starting a magazine, very fledgling, no circulation, poor editing. And so my coin. So now just insult her
for what she's working on.
About where I am and what I'm
now,
doing.
Because you're the victim. It's wrong for her to have ambitions, all this other stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, if you weren't going to address your behavior and the things that you've been doing and the rumors that are out here about you, I don't think you should even did this, to be completely honest with you, because it just really turned into like, I'm from Baltimore, a whole bunch of pull up and all that other stuff.
It's not as a friend, but because I didn't want it in publication. And I didn't trust it, obviously, wisely, that it wouldn't be used otherwise, because every ask had a demand for something else. The only person who bought into it was Monique. So let's go to bed. Where's Monique? Oh, here she is. Monique Samuels, I've never met. Never shook her hand. Never been in the room with her. And yet she's assassinated my character with high level of ire, of anger and hostility.
Let me tell you something about assassinating somebody's character, right? And how defamation and slander works a lot of times. One, that's more or less something that people who are private citizens are able to use, right? And yes, some other people who are famous can do that, right? We see Cardi B and suing a certain other people who have gone on record and said they've made up things, right? Yes, you got that, Cardi B. You got that, right? But when you have real live alleged accusations and people coming forward and saying this is what my personal experience is, or this is what I have encountered with them, that is not slander. That is not defamation. That is first person accounts of who you are. And if you are in the public eye, it's hard to say that someone defamed you. And it can be done, not to say you can't, you know what I mean? Not to say it can never be done, but it can be done. But it's going to be very hard to put on one person how a whole bunch of people feel about you, or a whole bunch of public information that may already be out there, right? So when you listen to him, it's like you really can't accuse this woman of defamation and slander and trying to tear down your character and all this other stuff. When, again, we have videos of people asking you to leave your own home state. You know what I mean? There's accounts of women coming out saying they used to sleep with you. And like I said, these alleged STDs. And on top of that, these alleged extra children that may be out there too. So, I mean, it's a hard thing to prove. I think people, like, it's a scare tactic that some people use on people who just don't know better. When you know better, you don't be fearful about sometimes some of the things that you may say. You know, to use allegedly. And for me, I know how to talk from a place of what my experience has been, right? And I can talk about other stuff, other people's experience, but if I always keep it back to what my experience is, then it's not defamation, it's not slander, it's not being malicious, it's not trying to spread rumor and stuff like that. It's not that. So, go off, Mr. Bryant, go off. Come on, Pastor.
A man she's never met. Now, I've got to address this because on national, international television, you've labeled me a holy whore. I think is the word you used, holy whore. And so I need to give some address to that. I'm not sleeping with anyone.
We can't move past that holy whore. Shout out Monique. He's a bad girl. Holy whore? I like that one. That one was good. Holy whore pastor? Girl, you got that. You did that.
Woman in my church. And I have no babies in my church. And I have no inappropriate relationship with any woman in my church. No.
Wait. Where'd it go? Where'd it go?
Be on the Housewives of Potomac.
Okay, I wanted to stop it there because he said he has no relationships with anybody in his church and the current church, the New Birth, in these people's Atlanta. The New Birth Church, he has no current relationship. So I want to bring something up that I seen the other day. And bear with me. Let me do it. Yeah, I want to go to Instagram. I want to bring up something. Because as he was speaking, y'all know Kaya, good sis Kaya, who tells y'all don't trust no Christian. Y'all know it's a good sis Kaya. I gotta find out what her name is under because it's something weird. It's something weird. Oh, look at that beautiful dress. That is amazing. Okay. That is amazing. I gotta remember, what is her name on here? Because she can't go by her name Kaya, I think. Because they're always trying to censor her and shut her down. And I don't like how people talk about Kaya as being too negative and all that other stuff, because to me, I'm more of an actions person. So when I see like celebrities on these reality TV shows or in life when they get into each other, like, come on, like I call a spade a spade. Like, it's all not good. Let me see. This might be the easiest. And that's the thing about Instagram, trying to find somebody. All right, here we go. Wait. Let me go to her page first because it seems like this has a lot of stuff mixed up into it. My whole thing is if you're going to show Kaya stuff on your page, I will say this. This is funny from Impressive AK. She said, I said 3 people you don't argue with: Jamaican women, Hebrew Israelites, and Kaya. And that is word. Like, I wouldn't want to argue with Kaya. Kaya seems like she argues with you. And like she has no F's to care about if she gonna make it to heaven or not. Because like the way she come in, it's just like, yo, Kaya, like, but real, you had to do all of that. And yes, she had to do all that. Come on. I'm trying to find the name she's under now. Because it's, like I said, it's just not her name. All right. I can't find it. And I'm not going to waste too much time. So, because it's, let's finish the video. But I'm going to bring it up before that.
Or anything in there. In 10 years, I never had a mistress. As a consequence, she has never been to visit me in Atlanta. 56 people applied for the job, the entire cast, and never sent it to Giselle. I had a demand for something else. The only person who bought into it was Monique. So let's go to that. Where's Monique? Oh, here she is. Monique Sanders, I've never met. Never shook her hand. Never been in the room with her. And yet she's assassinated my character with high level of ire, of anger and hostility. A man she's never met. Now, I've got to address this because on national, international television, you've labeled me a holy whore. I think is the word used, holy whore. And so I need to give some address to that. I'm not sleeping with any woman in my church, and I have no babies in my church, and I have no inappropriate relationship with any woman in my church. Now, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble reading my own writing.
Oh, go ahead, Pastor. Take your time. Don't rush it. Don't rush it, Pastor.
So I understand what the hostility was about and why the redirect of attention was on me. The redirect of attention on me, you teamed up with your best friend, who rest in peace has gone on to be with the Lord, and generated a story because you wanted to redirect because you thought a story was getting ready to break, that your baby is from your trainer. And that's what got your husband upset because he thought Giselle leaked.
Pastor, go ahead and spill that tea.
I want to tell you more.
Don't turn that cheek. Don't turn that cheek, Pastor. Go ahead, tell it. Tell it.
But I'll make your best friend Gigi. We had nothing to do with it. You came.
Come on, Pastor. Tell the truth on it.
And angry. And it was misdirected rage.
It's malicious.
Misdirected rage. Because
she wasn't doing it from the heart.
You live in a house with a man who has anger management, who doesn't mind expressing volatile behavior.
Go ahead, Pastor. Tell him about it.
Everything that I'm saying tonight is not conjecture. This is not murder. This is self-defense.
Okay. Tell him, Pastor.
So on Sunday, for the first time in 5 years.
Tell him, Pastor. How they expect better out of you? Huh? How they expect better out of you? Pastor, go ahead and tell it. The husband got the CTE. He got anger. She mad because her baby may not be her husband's. Go ahead and tell him, Pastor, what it really is. They just jealous.
I'm inviting my audience to watch the reunion, Housewives of Potomac, where you will see Monique's husband try to attack my wife. my ex-wife, and Robin. And security had to be called, and he had to be subdued. And I'm very concerned. Monique, you all have my phone number, as you expressed on the show, but I had you all's address. And because of grace, I didn't respond to that. Chris, you got...
Why you didn't call Grace before you did this daggone live? Grace? Grace? Why you didn't call her?
You got to take care of CTE. Yeah. Some of your former
Dr.
teammates contacted me. They're concerned.
Dr. Holy.
Said, Jamal, please don't respond. Because CTE is a progressive degenerative disease.
Now he's
from a history of trauma to the brain.
So since Pastor can diagnose, it's okay for us to diagnose him as narcissistic and him being, a sex addict. Seems like there's some self-control issues here. We can get our diagnosis on too. That's the thing. When you step out there and start, telling us about somebody's CTE and all this other stuff. Again, we're hearing about all of this and never addressing breaking his father-in-law's daughter heart, right? What happened there? Like, why did you leave her? Why are you guys, talking about you and your actions? Past the holy whore.
And so just last week, you had an outbreak again, verbally assaulting a black woman in Safeway. You have the footage of that, but I'm not going to air that. But
So another thing is, listen to how he makes sure to mention that it was a black woman. And I only say that because when you're trying to make sure you're trying to trigger people's emotions and get them on your side. Oh, your husband is out here doing things to black women. Black women are watching this show. Black women are interested in what's going on with you. So you want to trigger them by saying black women. Now, he's a black man, right? You could just say woman and it'd be fine. But you are so on point on the words and how you use them and when you say it and all that other stuff. So
asking you to please get help. I've tracked down your path of my character.
Ain't nothing like somebody exposing you, airing you the fuck out, and then turn around and telling you, I hope you get help. This reminds me so much of Tori telling Megan, if y'all don't really know what's going on, there's so much going on with this woman. Y'all don't even know how she really is behind the scenes. I just want her to take care of herself and do better for herself. Yeah, I shot her. That's how this sounds. Yeah, I shot her. But no. This is about the fact that she got some behavior behind the scene that y'all don't know about that caused me to shoot her. She need to go get some help.
My ministry and my humanhood. There are a couple of things that have happened this season that require immediate redress. Many of you who are watching bombarded me with accusations of abandoning my family, not being there for my girls, for their photo shoot, as if I was just in Atlanta, frolicking around and participating in willful neglect. The truth of the matter is, I was in South Africa.
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all didn't know
back, where you asked to come down for a moment, but you didn't do that. I had no inappropriate relation. Upset because he thought Giselle leaked and generated a story. The redirect of attention was on me. The redirect of attention on me, you teamed up with your best friend, who rest in peace, has gone on to be with the Lord.
Ooh, I missed this the first time. So, look at the cleverness of Sam. Your friend and you came up with something against me. And look at God. And he didn't say it. But she no longer with us. You know what that implies when someone's but she's no longer with us, as if though something karmatic happened. God came and got her for coming against one of his own. Let's continue.
Because you wanted to redirect, because you thought a story was getting ready to break, that your baby is from your trainer. And that's what got your husband upset, because he thought Giselle leaked. And everything that I'm saying tonight is not conjecture.
Oh, you're speaking facts,
this
Pastor.
Is bold, and he had to be subdued.
All facts about other people.
And I'm very concerned. Monique, you all have my phone number, as you expressed on the show, but I had you all's address. And because of grace, I didn't respond to that.
Because of grace. You got my number, but I got your address. I got a congregation. We can pull up on you and see what you're talking about.
Chris, you got to take care of CTE. Yeah. Some of your former teammates contacted me. They're concerned. Said, Jamal, please don't respond, because CTE is a progressive degenerative disease from a history of trauma to the brain. And so just last week, you had an outbreak again of verbally assaulting a black woman in Safeway. You have the footage of that, but I'm not going to air that. But I'm asking you to please get help. I've tracked down your pastor, so all of what I'm saying is involved, so that your pastor can help you get the help that is needed and that is necessary. None of
the audacity. The audacity. The audacity. You called this woman's pastor, and I want to make sure that y'all understand that this man is supposed to be on and I'm not to say that excuses Monique or any of them, but this man is really supposed to be carrying himself really at a much better way than this. So you called her pastor to give her pastor some gossip or some stuff that you know about her, because he needs to put her and her husband under guidance and teach them a better way. The fact that the pastor stayed on the phone with you, I'd be going to another church. I'm sorry, y'all. I'd be going to another church, because pastor should have hung up on gossip. That wasn't your place. Pastor should have hung up on gossip, especially this pastor who knows who you are. So what you did was, because you got some power still in the religious community, the church community, you made a phone call on this woman. Because of some reality TV stuff, when you shouldn't have been on there moonlighting, knowing that you're moonlighting as a pastor in real life. You shouldn't have been on there. You opened yourself up to exposure, and that's the thing that you don't want to continue. You opened yourself up. Like any reality TV show, they said don't go on there if you can't lose a relationship or you don't think this may affect areas of your life. Like, you really called someone's pastor on them to spread gossip. But go off. But Grace didn't call you before you did that either. Grace just called you conveniently. That's what it seems like.
Of this really necessitated having it. I've not bothered any of you. I've not said anything disparaging against any of you. I've not attacked any of you. But I thought it was necessary for a couple of reasons. I thought it was necessary because of the failures of my past. It made the accusations of the present believable. And many of you began writing on my support.
That's that whole, y'all holding my past against me to justify or to give what's currently happened to me credibility. Y'all need to let my past go. I'm not there no more. I'm here. The thing about that is so true for so many people. Like, you got to let people's past go. But when you start to do things that look like you are not doing it, like you haven't learned from your past, and it looks very on par to who you were, not who you were, who you are and who you were 10 years ago. Like when it looks on par to the fact that you haven't really given up, yeah, your past comes into play. Your past does come into play. And it's going to always come into play with people because they're going to be like, well, you know, we do know about all of this up here in the B more. You seem to be down here in the A more and doing the same thing in the Hotlanta.
Social media with no information. Begin attacking me with no information. Start going all the way in with no information. And I wanted believers to know that no matter what it is that you did in your past, you can outlive it in your present. Regrettably, those of you who have said the most vile, nasty, and negative things did it behind Scripture. You did it under the guise of being saved. Not calling for prayer, but immediately calling for crucifixion. I didn't say that I was perfect, nor do I pretend to be. But don't come for me unless I invite you. All of us are in a journey of a process of trying to be better, trying to work out, and I am one of them. So you have to forgive me because I'm not going to hold you long. Pastor, why are you running? I'm running because I got to get ready. Because Saturday, I got to feed 8,000 families in Atlanta who don't.
Yes, because I most definitely got to tell you how I'm still out here doing charitable work. And this ain't nothing. Let's not focus on that. Let's focus on how I get back. You know, that's what we really should be talking about. It's 2020. People are losing their jobs. People are starving. Bills are getting cut off. You know, let's focus on that. That's all that really matters.
Don't have groceries. I think I got to announce that here because none of these bloggers are going to write about that. I got to go because as soon as I finish that, I got to open up Christmas City for 1,000 disadvantaged children whose parents are incarcerated, they're in foster care, or their parents have been laid off in COVID.
Let me tell you about Christians, or fake ones. They're going to always talk about charity. They're going to always try to bring it back to giving back when you're trying to hold them accountable for their shit. They're going to always talk about the things that the meaning of life, the things that are more important than salacious rumors. They're going to always try to talk about the kids. You know what I mean? That's what we should be focused on, the children. They are our future.
I got to go because I got to go further, make sure that by January 5th, we elect 2 senators from the state of Georgia and flip the state and change the nation. I gotta go because
I gotta go. I'm doing God's work out here. We got an election coming. Now he didn't feed the poor. He's got the election going. You need to go and get the votes for the people. And you know, the kids. He has a bigger calling. He got things to do out here. He got time to sit here and tell y'all why he has been out here being a philanderist and like being all types of sleeping around and allegedly may have some STDs and allegedly may have some kids out here that he made while he was on. He ain't got time to answer all them questions. He is doing the Lord's work and y'all are disturbing him. Shame on y'all.
I'm not called to entertainment. I'm called to empowerment.
I am not called.
So I know that many of you will still have stuff to say. I am not here to convince you. What I am here to say is I wish we would expend as much energy pushing positive than we do pushing negative.
Yes, I really wish y'all would let and call grace and do more of talking about positivity and uplifting the community. Because I have been out here uplifting the community through feeding the homeless and the kids and digging down y'all mamas and aunties and them.
Yes. I wish when one of us falls or makes a misstep, we will cover them, protect them,
and
then push them.
and push him. Because it's not like he ain't been covered. Ain't like he ain't been protected. Ain't like he did what he did in Baltimore and they didn't cover him and protect him and let him still continue to do in his ministry in Atlanta. Ain't like that didn't happen. Ain't like he hadn't been given a second chance. Right? He been covered, he been protected, he ain't lose his income. He went to Atlanta and just did the same thing. Why the church turned their back? Why the church has never came forward and said, and when I say the church, it's just really weird and hard, but people didn't talk out against him. It didn't make national news. Nobody called him out. Nobody said that this man should be banished from being a minister. I've seen some commentary where I've seen some women take the disposition as if though we are just trying to tear down another black man. No matter what he's done along the way that may have tore down a black woman, no matter what he may have done that may have potentially, with the STDs, that conversation that's going on, may have endangered other women and specifically his wife. No, don't forget all that. You are trying to tear down a strong black man. So the illusion that this is a strong pillar in our community is something that people rather uphold than saying, no, this is actually really part of the problem of what's going on in our community. And he represents that on the religion side of it, right? So we're so busy and concerned about trying to tear down a black man. That's just not a good representation to other young black boys or men on how to be a good husband and how to be a good father. You're worried about tearing down that. It's going to lose me every time. That's going to lose me every time. What is it that he is doing to empower our community, to uplift them in knowledge and self-respect and how to behave? And what is he doing? He's doing none of that. He's doing none of that. This is not a pillar of our community, but we consistently on basis hold women to the point where we'll get so mad at them and we'll just disregard them because they make a mishap, they make mistakes. Not even on the same level as some of these trash ass men. Not even on the same level. But he has to be covered because that's a black man. We need more strong black men. Not even knowing that what you're saying is strong. That ain't it. That ain't it. I just said I would go to his church for theater to sit and laugh and eat some caramel crunch. I just said that. I wouldn't let my son be ministered or mentored by this man. Because mine's just going to go home and Google him. My son is going to go home and Google him like, Pastor, what is doing? What? They're out here in these streets? Come on. Let's call it what it is. I'm going to tell my son, don't let everybody pray on you. And when y'all go out to eat, just pray silently.
I wish that at some point or another, we would mature and reason together.
Yes, the problem is we're not.
I live in Atlanta, but I'm from Baltimore. I want to wish all of you a Merry Christmas.
I live in Atlanta, but I'm from Baltimore. And what that mean? We will pull up on you. I'll call some homies back in Bmore, and we can make this happen. Can y'all imagine a pastor talking like this? The fact that people get their spiritual guidance from him is disturbing. Like everything that this man does is contrived. Like even the pictures in the background, just that in the motif of black is beautiful. You know what I mean? That he's all about blackness, and he's a black man in the black community, right? Giving you something to look at in the back. I'm an African angel. All of this is contrived. This is propaganda. This is marketing 101, So, that's all I got on Jamal. Holy Lord Pastor. But all I'm saying is that this is a lot. So since this aired, I'm trying to see what date did this come out. And shout out to OEO Inc. December 16th. So, I don't know. Like a lot of this came out. There's some defamation stuff, cease and desist stuff that's been going out between the both of them. The fact of the matter is, I think he thought he was smooth enough to be on camera and that he would be untouched because of how he presents himself and that everything was so put together in this tight, this tight bow that he would be fine. His ex-wife gets to be on TV, gets another check. Maybe they have a deal. Well, if you getting that, I ain't got to break you so much on that. Yeah, if I'm doing this for you, what you gonna do for me? That's what it sounds like, because it's been alleged that they're not really together, that it was all for the show. That's even crazy, because you have a pastor who's willing to go along with a storyline for $1. I'm just saying, like, now we're talking about factual stuff. That's disturbing. That's disturbing. Why are you willing to play along in the circus? I don't know. That's all I got for y'all. Like I said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I have a couple more videos that I wanted to do before the year end. I wanted to do BLM, talking about Black Lives Matter and talking about the defunding the police. What else? And I just wanted to do my year end wrap up video where I just talk about what my life has been like in 2020 and the things I've experienced. I think everyone has had revelations, and we've had things that have happened in 2020 that's knocked your socks off. That's just like, wow. I can say that I have that. I think more on a personal level. I won't go too deep because I'm not comfortable with like talking about my personal business. Like, I'm never gonna get up here and just like be rambling about, can you believe my brother? Are you believe my sister? Or I'm not gonna do all that. Like, I don't think that I'll work it in. You know, my story of things that I've been through with people, I work it into what I talk about, and that's what works best for me. I don't know what works best for everybody else, but I'm not gonna be able to do like a whole sit down and give you a whole story about something, because that's just not how I operate. And plus, no matter, I just don't feel like I should put all of that information out there. I'll say I went through an experience before as it comes up and relates to things that are in the news, and that's how I would do it. I'm never on here trying to expose people, so that's just not what I've ever wanted to do. So I don't know where that got lost in translation, but you know what I think has happened? That mofos have tried me and tried to expose me, come at me, and they realized that I have a gift of just really, telling a situation and just really, really, really being really good at it. So I think a lot of people came to be fearful of my mouth, and that's fine. You should. I would be. But no, do I want to talk about people's personal lives and what they're doing? No, that's never been my thing. But if something relates to me, and then, baby, I'll go there. But that's just it. Again, thanks for coming, Bougie AF. The channel, don't forget to check me out on, like I said, Instagram, Bougie AF_ish, Bougie AF-ish. And then, like I said, I am also on the Twitter. Let me look and see. I'm sorry, y'all, I just don't remember it all like that. YTube_Bougie AF. You can find me there. So I am out. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be black. Y'all know how we do. We're going to keep it posh. We're going to keep it bougie. Y'all know how we do. And we're going to keep it lip gloss. I should have put a lip gloss on because I have a bad habit of chewing on my lips. I bite my lips. But it just is what it is. They're mine. If you don't like it, I don't care. But I'm out. Bye.